You are sitting with Rositta Mbanze, and this is in conversation with Robin Lloyd. Hello, Robin. How are you today?
Fine, and you, Rosita?
I'm good, thank you. So, Robin, before we get a chance to know you a little bit more, I usually start and ask people what's in their cup. I'm going to share what's in mine. It's very simple, just apple juice. Just because I feel like some apple juice, actually. What's in your cup?
Rosie, quite a long story, actually. Superman. So I've got peach and apricot infused 5 roses tea right here. And you'll be happy to know the glass is half full. So just like my optimism. But I kind of, a while back, and in case you're wondering why peach and apricot infused tea is like, I kind of took myself off caffeine a couple of months ago just to give caffeine a break. So I've been on chamomile, and this month I thought I'm going to be adventurous and branch out. And peach and apricot piqued my interest, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's not that great.
Who do you look up to at Tarsus and why?
I'd probably say there are 2 people in particular, Rosie. Number one, Gary Pickford, for one. He's just, I really like his ability to deal with people and situations and understand both sides of the story and handle and mentor people. I think it's incredible. I think he's just got such a knack and natural ability with people. And I think me being a people's person, I really aspire and look up to just like the way he can handle and lead people. And the other person that I look up to is Anton. Anton, I just, if I could spend 5 minutes in Anton's brain, just being one of those neurons that's firing around and what's going on in there, that's incredible. Just that thought process and understanding the ability to see it and predict the future and just kind of then go and bring to practice and go and make it happen and see that this is the road we've got to take. It's just incredible. And that do it attitude is mind-boggling to me.
Describe for us your best and worst days at Tarsus. So if you've had like a really good day, what has happened? What does that look like? And if you've had a not so good day, what has happened as well?
I think a good day, and I think outside of like achieving success on any day being a good day, I think a good day for me is certainly one where you've had challenges and you've put strategies and processes in place to overcome something and really achieving what you've set out to do in the day with that success in mind. I think that's a good day. You know, it's you don't always have to be successful in that day, but I just, you know, if you've built the blocks through your day to go and out and achieve the next steps to success, you've had a good day. And I think that's a good day for me. And seeing people achieve is a good day for me. I get a kick out of that. A bad day, well, is like kind of the total opposite. It's like when everything just seems to be going wrong and falling apart at the seams, but you just, a day where you just don't seem to get much out of it is a bad day for me. Just those days where we've all had, it feels like we've just been running around in circles. I don't enjoy those days.
I know you're a father, you're a husband, but in terms of your role as a general manager, what does the day look like for you from the moment the moment you get up, the moment you either get the kids out the house, or, what does the day in the life of a general manager at Tarsus look like?
Yeah, I think, Rosie, the days don't, I think it's not so much about a general day, but it's the principles in your day as a general manager for me. I think they're putting the building blocks into place for the day, and that changes from day to day, like making sure that the team that you have reporting into you have the tools to succeed through the day, and making sure that you're approachable to guide, mentor, give them the guidance to go out and achieve success in the necessary business unit, and also that we're achieving the overall success and actually overachieving the success that Tarsus desires and we've got to achieve. So I think everything in my day talks to that, is making sure my team are successful so that Tarsus is successful, and equipping the team with the tools to be able to go out and achieve. And then over and above that, creating an environment that your team can thrive in. And that probably is the starting point, is making sure that everybody is in the right environment.
what is the best or worst advice that you've received?
Best advice, I have to go back to my school days. We had a first team cricket coach, and he would always say to us, when the kitchen's getting hot and everybody else is running out, that is when we stand up and put our hands up and we run in. And I think that really just spoke to the mental attitude that you should have in terms of take accountability, responsibility, and when it's getting tough, that's when we got to perform, and that's when you put your hand up and you get stuck in. And I think I've really taken that through up into my working career is that when things are getting tough and you feel like you're swimming upstream, that's when we perform the best, and that's when you stand up and be counted. And I think I've just in my daily life and work life, I think I really keep that in the back of my mind, just saying, put your hand up when it gets tough, don't run away. And then that's probably the best advice. And I think I can probably give you the worst advice as well. The worst advice is the customer is always right. And I think that it's not so, and it can be taken in a couple of contexts, but I think if you say the customer is always right, you always already set the tone for the way you're going to respond to that customer, that you're on the back foot. And I think it's not a case of the customer always being right. It's just guiding the customer in the correct manner to make sure that he gets the desired satisfaction. So that customer is always right. There's never been one that sits well with.
I know a lot of us are COVID fatigued, whether or not it's hearing about it or trying to deal with whatever the case is. How has COVID affected you?
To be honest, Rosie, mentally it has been tough. I think anybody who tells you that it hasn't are either putting on a brave face or kidding themselves. I think, and slightly tougher for me in the sense of that I consider myself as a bit of a socialite and a people's person. So I enjoy the people and the chatting and the just being around and interacting. So that has been tough for me. That part of the work from home has been extremely strenuous, and let's not add the teaching and homeschooling. Oh, that has certainly made me question my life choices a couple of times. But yeah, I think it's certainly mentally it has been tough. I think we're extremely resilient as South Africans, but wow, man, mentally it has been tough for a lot of people, and me personally.
You mentioned earlier that you made the decision to quit caffeine. I find that the pandemic is also making us try new things or learn things about ourselves or just maybe reflect more than usual. What has the pandemic taught you about yourself that you weren't aware of previously?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the last question is the working from home. Certainly, it's the novelty at the beginning was great, and I think that novelty seems to have worn off, and that working from home is great for some people, but for me as an individual, it's not my cup of tea. And again, I think it's just the nature of me and the way I interact, my personality. But I certainly thought it would be a breeze, but working from home has certainly been a challenge for me.
I'm not sure how long your career spans at the moment, but I think you've been in the industry for quite some time. For young professionals coming into the industry, whether or not it's this industry or any actually, what advice would you give to them?
Ask questions, learn, fail. Don't be scared to challenge people's thought processes. Don't be scared to question ideas. The mere fact that you're questioning and challenging means that you think. And I think it's a lot of people, and I think we often brought up, and I don't know if it's so much a South Africanism kind of thing, that we're scared to challenge and question. That we in this culture we do what we're told, and I think we've got to question ideas, and don't be scared to test your ideas and put your ideas into process. And if you fail, you fail. And we don't learn if we don't try and we don't test those ideas out. People that aren't sitting in where they are in Silicon Valley today because they didn't try an idea. It's everybody's tried, tested, and failed. So I think my advice would be a simple one: just be open to questioning, be open to test ideas, and be willing to learn. I think you've got to be open enough to know that you're never too old to learn, and you've got to continue learning. If you've got a mindset of continuous learning, then you're certainly on the right path.
What other thing have you learned, about yourself recently that you're just like, actually, I didn't know that?
So it's quite interesting because around the office, I find myself to be very patient. I'm a very patient individual. At home, my patience level seems to be tested quite often, and I'm actually not as patient as I thought I was. So, and like something I've taken on personally to try and work on specifically is just be a little bit more patient. It's funny. It's funny how we are in our work lives versus sometimes how we are in our home lives. And I'm pretty sure you saw that early on in lockdown. There was those memes going around like, what type of person is your better half at home to what you never thought he was when he was at the office, and how they do video calls. And mine's certainly been the patience.
And if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing to work on that?
Oh man, I think it's I don't know if there's one specific thing, but it's kind of like just you got to be mentally aware of it. You've got to like keep yourself in that zone and remind yourself to say, listen, deep breath. They are only 11 years old, kind of thing. What's that
one or two, things that you sort of appreciate a little bit more, or that you've learned about your own kids that you wouldn't necessarily have picked up, if you weren't working from home?
Yeah, I suppose certainly I've seen like this. You get to see them grow. I think every parent will say that you actually get to see this, what's the word? Like in developing, and these little nuances that change every day. And also just how independent they actually are. It's sometimes I think if I left home and locked the door and just left some bread and water, they'd survive. But. No, I'd never do that. I'm joking, Tarsus. I'd never do that.
How has your productivity changed, or has it been affected since you started working from home?
Oh, Rosie, I think we've certainly become, I feel a lot busier. So I know you asked about productivity. Now, I mean, being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're productive. But for me, the days just seem so much fuller. They're going past so much quicker, and time just seems to be flying. And I think it's this online for the 9 hours of the day that your days just feel so much more congested. So it's not I can see John down the passageway, he's just on a call, so I'll hang on 5 minutes and then I'll go ask him a question. It's like now it's busy. I just feel like we a hell of a lot busy. You seem to get a lot more done from an admin perspective, but I just don't know from a collaborative perspective if we're that much more productive. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced. But productivity levels are certainly feel. I think we've actually I've certainly got to a stage where I've had to say to myself, 5 o'clock, you've got to switch off now. To mentally to break it, so that we that balance. We don't have that half an hour or hour in the traffic in the afternoons to digest your day. When you get home, you've separated your work life and your home life. It's so blended now at the moment that you've actually got to put measures in place to say, hold on, I'm done for the day. Tomorrow's another day. About
a year ago this time, actually, we didn't imagine that would be where we are right now. And last year, this was our future. How do you see the future of work going forward now that the world has, we've shifted gears? How do you envision things working out?
I certainly think we will move to a more hybrid solution where there'll be a combination of remote working and then obviously office time. And it goes back to exactly the last point, like I was saying, just that the collaboration aspect. And I think just as human beings, we need it. We're socially interactive kind of population. So we need it for our sanity. I think we crave human interaction. So I think we will. I think, and when I say some office time. It may not necessarily be at a physical office, but I think we're certainly going to have this hybrid of where we're getting together to meet and work out and thrash out ideas and team meetings, and not teams meetings, but we'll have team meetings. And but, yeah, so just to I think we have to for our sanity and our own health. I think we've got to, because we can't sit in the same four walls indefinitely. I think we will all slowly go mad.
What is your number one working from home hack?
Routine. I think it was one of the first things that I did when we went into lockdown, is to maintain that routine, kind of, get up, show up, dress up kind of thing for your day. But it's keep that routine through the day, keeps your mind interactive, stimulated. You keep working, because if we just kind of go with the flow, I tend to find that we can get easily distracted and we easily, find alternative things to kind of focus on. So for me, my hack is routine. I've just maintained the same routine as what I would have, throughout my working day if I was at the office. So like lunch times, to grab a cup of tea at the same kind of times. It's just keeping that same kind of hack. Might not work for everyone. I don't even know if that is a hack, but that's what's kind of kept me going.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. I know the people watching this definitely know you a little bit more. We've had some great laughs in between. So thank you so much for your time, Robin. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rosie, man. It was great spending some time with you.
And to everybody watching, I really do hope you've enjoyed. You now know a little bit more about Robin. We will see you when we see you, whenever that is. So please do continue looking out for our social media channels. And we hope you've enjoyed this segment with Robin. Cheers for now.